Have you ever helped, or what's your view on ADHD? Have you ever helped, or?
I think a lot of ADHD is related to nutrient deficiencies, especially in children. I think that, even if we tried to feed our children very healthy diets and, not eating out every meal, try to not eat processed foods or dyes and things like that. Our food is not the same quality as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like the food that's grown in the ground.
Yeah.
Like we literally have to add nutrients back into the ground because our soil is completely depleted. So we're not getting the magnesium and the all of the things that we normally would in our food. We're not getting it like we used to. Probably when we were little, it wasn't as bad as it is now. And then obviously all of the foods that we do pump into our bodies and our kids' bodies, think about, I mean, there's so much research that shows that if you literally just took away red dye and processed foods from children, that it would cause a remarkable effect in their health and in their behavior too.
Wow. I'm doing that.
Right.
I'm about to get me a trash bag and clean out all the...
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the reason why they're trying. I mean, you can't deny the science that's out there on that. I mean, and it's being there's more visibility to it now, I think, like on social media and stuff, like cutting out sodas, junk food, and like preventing, like there are even states now that are banning red dye because of the increase of ADHD in children.
Wow.
And the neurological
There's probably a
effects.
lot of other things that happen from that too.
Oh yeah, but significantly in children. I mean, look at all of the food that they eat, like Fruit Loops. I mean, everything has dye in it. You know?
And all these dyes just make it look more enticing.
Yeah,
so
that's
excited.
part
They're
of
like, colorful.
this is part of the point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen fruit or vegetable without any pesticides on it? They're way bigger, more vibrant in color, and that's wild to me.
And I have a lot of my clients that have such a hard time buying organic foods because they're like, it goes bad like in 2 days. I'm like, well, that's because there's nothing on it. Like, it's the whole point is that just buy what you need to eat, because most people have to probably go buy food, a couple of times a week if you're eating fresh foods and fresh, vegetables and stuff, because the pesticides and the, any of the things that are sprayed on it and the wax that are, they have a lot of wax on fruits and stuff. That's, that's what their purpose is to keep them fresh longer. So
that is what that is. The cheese too. It's just got this wax over it. Like the sprinkled cheese in the bag. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, they say don't buy that.
I know. They say just get a block.
Yeah.
We were talking about that the other day. I actually started buying a block and
shave it. Yeah, when it's not melting.
It's better.
Yeah, I started buying a block and cutting it into to cubes because I don't have time for shaving. But if you want to give me some of your shaved cheese, I'll take it.
That thing is actually hard to clean, but
I know,
it's fun
and
to
it's
do.
hard, and it hurts to clean.
Yeah, rip your skin right off.
I'm just trying to be healthy.
Oh my goodness. Let's see, where are we at here? Question number 2. What are some specific health conditions linked to trauma, and how common are they?
Well, so we kind of talked a little bit about this, right? I mean, there obviously the ACE study that we went over, there was higher incidence of heart disease and autoimmune disorders, obesity, chronic pain, mental health struggles.
That's the big one.
All of those. It's pretty much it from trauma keeps our stress response on high alert, and so that's where you have this inflammation, this inflamed body, and it weakens your immune system over time.
Right. Wow. I'm just now thinking about the fight or flight because I'm working with my therapist on that, because I still have that from my childhood, and I'm dealing with that as an adult now. And she's taught me about the cortisol leaving your frontal core. And you're not able to make decisions. And so what she's taught me is I need to step away to handle my body first.
Right.
Because it's shutting down. It's shut down.
Yeah.
And that's when the people pleasing starts to happen, when you don't know that that's happening to you
stuck in
inside
that
of
place,
you. Correct.
right? Yeah.
And so that's why stepping away is the most important thing to do, and just realizing when it's happening. And I'm learning how to do that as an adult now. It's real.
And a lot of people too have who have experienced trauma in their life have like slower processing, right? And so you have to be aware of that. You know, you have to be able to step back and be like, give yourself time to process what's happening and what's going on. And so because you are stuck in that like fight or flight space, you know, that you were when that trauma happened.
Yeah, it's a slow process of getting out of that when you've known it for so long, or you have been that way for so long. Yeah. So it's...
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of healing, but it's possible.
It is.
You know?
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah. What an awful place to be if we felt like we were stuck, you know, and that God couldn't heal us.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one study that's always really cool to me, that, you know, that most, like, there's about 61% of adults in the U.S. have at least one ACE on their score. So
that is wow.
Yeah, and then 1 in 6 have 4 or more. So if you think about like people that have experienced trauma in your life, a lot of times you feel like you're alone in that place, right? You know, you're just kind of, because you're so stuck. And so if you think about how common this actually is, and how so many people are affected by this, you know, it needs to be brought to people's attention, you know, that there is a way of healing from that place. And it's not about forgetting the past, but it's about moving on and really healing from, you know, from that trauma.
The root cause of whatever happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's causing all of these health issues.
Yeah.
It's big.
And my brother, he runs a Christian Recovery Center, and me and Britt have been there several times, and I go and teach a class every week. And one of the girls, like, we're like, how can you help me? You've never been on drugs. And like what I was telling Britt, we're all the same. Like we are all the same. Like I've just coped with it differently than how they have coped with it. You know, we have different coping mechanisms. That's where we're different at, but we're the same.
Right. And different addictions too.
Exactly.
Right. Like just because an addiction is not alcohol or drugs. I mean, people pleasing.
Yeah. And mine was always work.
Yeah.
To kind of get off of the problem, because I used to work like 3 jobs, like, and they were serious jobs, like personal training, hairstylist, and an office job.
Right.
So like that's how I would like handle my trauma and my
that's
issues.
Like almost like a cortisol addiction, right? Like feeling that like the overcommitment aspect of it, and you know that it absolutely, just because you don't have, you know, you don't struggle. Everybody's struggles are different, right? Everybody has their own addictions in some way or another.
But this is nice to know that, like, hey, everyone has this. Everyone's dealt.
Yeah.
We're all
and you know, it doesn't, and trauma in your life doesn't have to be this huge, like, I was abused when I was a child. Right. You know, it's some way that in some point of your life that you're like, that your body was, you know, like affected in a, you know, in a bad way. Right. So, you know, I mean, trauma is different to different people. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, a lot of times people think you have to have, in order to have PTSD, you have to fight in a war, right? But it's not. No. I mean, like, everybody is affected differently by trauma.
Right.
Wow.
Could be the smallest thing.
Yeah, like Josh's was small. I mean, well, to me it was small. It might not have been to him, but my brother, he was a heroin addict, and he just felt like he didn't fit in his skin. And like hearing him explain that, he was always popular growing up. Like, he's very, very popular. Like, so I was just like, that is so weird. But it was the way that he felt. So, and he hid it from everyone. We never knew that he felt that way, but he just felt, and my husband says the same thing. So it's funny to hear them, and they, you know, share the same drug addictions and stuff like that. but to hear that you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, you know?
Right. Well, and a lot of times too, it's just self-medication, right? You know, whether it's a drug or whether it's overcommitting yourself to things, you know, and to like it's self-medication, whether it's to forget or to not feel, you know.
I was like that in my last lifestyle, just putting up a front basically. Like I was hidden behind a mask, honestly, because I was so hidden by all of that and didn't understand it. So I put up a front for people because I didn't even know how to explain.
She reminds me of like you have like a chameleon like syndrome or something. Like she fits in where she's at. So like if she's behind the chair with a Christian, she can talk God all day long. If she's behind a chair with a drug addict, she can share drugs with him. Or if she's behind the chair with like just any topic you can think of, it's like I've seen her like transform into that. And it's kind of like, I mean, some, I guess, traumas could be like a positive thing that people see.
Well, yeah. You know? I mean, I think that we were talking about this earlier about, you know, we all have spiritual gifts. And so whatever that gift is, you know, I think that, you know, Satan absolutely will use them for his benefit over glorifying the Lord, because that's what we feel most deeply about, right? So our spiritual gifts can be absolutely used against us.
The best part in what you said about me in that, because I believe I am like that, the best part of that whole thing is that my rock is my Christ, and I get to share that regardless of who it is. And so that's what
that's the space that the Lord uses for you, right, to witness. And I've been aware, or you know, I've seen that firsthand with you, you know, and just truly everything that you do glorifying the
and
Lord.
her chameleon looks different now that she has God, because like I've worked with Britt forever, and we've like stood beside each other for years and years and years, like 10 years plus, doing, you know, work together. So it's kind of interesting to see like how she stands behind the chair now different.
And even at the beginning, and even the beginning of her walk too, right? When she was such a baby, you know, in her faith. I remember
she's such a feisty Christian.
Girl, I still light up.
Well, that, and also, but you know, you used to be more timid, and how you would, now she's like, everybody in the whole,
I don't even care who hears.
Everybody in the whole salon will hear her. You know, she doesn't care.
No,
but before, you know, even in the beginning, it was like, you know, she used to be quieter about it, and like, you know, but it's like this transformation that it's just like she wants everybody to know.
Yeah, so I just had a teenage boy ask me about Jesus last week. I mean, cool. We started chatting, texting back and forth, and I sent him scripture. I mean, just throwing them seeds out.
Yeah.
I love me some teenagers.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. Because I get to live vicariously through them where I was so lost. I'm like, I got to show you what I know now about myself that I should have known then, and it's like this thing, I can't help it.
Like this is where you can change the path, you know, the course of your path. Yeah.
It's like me helping my son with his homework. Like he's in the 3rd grade, and I'm just feeling so confident, like I'm killing it. Like when he like he's so smart. When he's made all these like good grades, I'm like, yeah, those are my grades too.
Like, wait until it's high school math, and then you're like, like, go get your dad.
No, that's what I told my husband. I was like, I can't go above like the 3rd grade, so you're gonna have to help, like with homework from here on out.
Yeah, that's what I do. Mine are older now, so I'm like, they'll ask me, and they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, nope, not sure. Go get me your answer book, or you know,
they're so smart too.
They are smart.
How old are your kids?
I have a 13-year-old girl, and then boy-girl twins. That will be 12 in like 2 weeks.
You had a 13-year-old and then 12
Yes. The twins were born when my oldest was 18 months old. That was not planned.
3 babies?
Yeah, we had 3 babies. Yeah. And I was not sure if my husband was truly going to live and survive.
Yeah, I remember when you were pregnant with the twins.
Yeah. Yeah. But he, oh my goodness, like we had it rough back then too. I mean, I was working bedside nursing. He was working at UNC. And so when we would have opposite shifts, right? So he would be at home all day long and all night when I was working at the hospital. And I remember all the phone calls, like I would just be like, bless him.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he got through it. Now it's a different kind of fun, as they're getting older, the teenage years and being involved in all the sports and stuff and seeing their little identities,
blossom open.
Yeah, it's fun to see them grow
I'm just
up.
thinking of like a 13-year-old girl, like periods, attitude. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm blessed for mine. She is... I mean, she was nothing like I was.
Yeah.
I still apologize to my mom.
Well, you explained to me about your functional medicine with the period.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me.
Well, and that's one thing. That's one thing I work with a lot of women, that when they realize that you're not supposed to have a painful, heavy period. You're supposed to be, you're supposed to feel normal. And so women that truly are struggling with their periods, there's something going on, whether it's estrogen dominance or, some hormones are off balance, and a lot of food and, and of course, all of the, like makeup and personal care products that women have are awful for us. You have to really be like
you need
careful.
to talk to Joy about that.
Yeah.
Because that will help her.
Yeah. And these are seeds. Like what was it called?
Oh,
so
seed cycling. I love seed cycling. So seed. So if you truly go back and if you look at different seeds for different times of your phases throughout the month, they actually will regulate your hormones. And even just doing little things like not drinking bottled water. Like we've talked about this.
Because the plastic. I switched to La Blue, by the way.
Yep. So
which is not the best.
It's not the best, but it's better, right? Because you don't have BPA.
What is the best bottle?
So any bottled water, anything drinking out of a bottle is not going to be the best, because if you think about the plastic leaches into the water, and so those are you have like these exoestrogens which increase your estrogen, and your body cannot detox the extra estrogen out. So there's a couple things here, right? You want to make sure that your detox pathways are open, like you're able to detox, through your gut, through your lymph nodes, and then also through your liver are the three main ways. I mean, we also have our skin and other ways to detox, but making sure that those detox pathways are open will help us get rid of extra estrogen.
Right.
But also preventing the extra, like the fake estrogen and the plastics and stuff like that, really do help, regulate our hormones.
Because in the gut, it's not processing it out well. It's like gathering up in the gut, and everything's not flowing the way it should be.
That's one aspect of it. Our liver is a big, our liver, we detox estrogen through our liver mainly. And so when our liver is congested or unhealthy, then we can't detox or get rid of the extra toxins.
And blood work will tell you if you have like a bad liver or a bad kidney or a bad...
Yeah, so functional medicine is a little bit different than conventional medicine in a couple of ways, obviously. One, we're not just treating the symptoms. We really are working at like the root cause of what caused something and then trying to reverse that, right? So it makes sense.
So could constipation be from a childhood trauma?
If you think about, we go back to what the studies tell us, that we can absolutely it can cause inflammation, so systemic inflammation.
That's what constipation is a stomach inflammation?
Well, constipation can be from different things, but inflammation can cause constipation.
The doctor told me and my mom, because we only go to the bathroom like once or twice a week, and the doctor told me and my mom that like that's just how our genetics are. Do you believe in that?
No, I think that...
You heard that.
I think that most gut health is absolutely related to, it's called dysbiosis. So you have good bacteria and you have bad bacteria. And so you want to have an even balance between the two, right? Your good bacteria should always be a little higher than your bad bacteria. But what happens is, whether it's from toxins, antibiotics, underlying infections, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be on antibiotics, so sometimes, conventional medicine is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
But overuse of these meds can absolutely cause, our gut flora to be off. I mean, and even just the food that we eat. So if you think about, like the balance being off, then you have all of this bad bacteria that's really, really high, and the low bacteria is, where the good bacteria is low, then your balance is off.
Right.
That can absolutely cause constipation. Leaky gut can cause constipation. Where the lining of our gut, we almost have like these little holes, which it should be like a solid lining in our gut, but we have, when you have leaky gut, you have these little holes in there, and again, caused by different things, most of the times toxins. But when the holes are there, then you have all these the good things and the bad things that are supposed to be in your gut, because if you think about the way that our intestines works, it's truly made to, God created it to absorb nutrients and excrete and get rid of toxins, right? So when there's little holes in there, you have the good and the bad leaking out into your system and getting into your blood system, which causes inflammation. Again, systemic inflammation.
That collagen must be good, because I'm going a lot more. I guess you're supposed to. Like,
good. Well, I mean, I think probably
1 to 2 times a day.
That's what that's how
I'm releasing a bunch of stuff out of my gut.
How much did you used to go before?
Once a day, sometimes every other day.
Because coffee makes you go.
Yes. That is my ritual
stimulant.
every morning.
Yeah.
And see, that's another thing. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't have anything that makes, and maybe I shouldn't call it constipation. Maybe I should just call it I don't use the bathroom a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Constipation. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Yeah. But
yes, I am.
But again, I mean, it's not normal. I mean, if you think about, if you're not going that often, right? Like literally, we have to poop to get rid of toxins and excrete.
And I do eat small, I eat little bits of food at every sitting. I'm very hungry, but I'll eat more throughout the day than just in.
You're like small snacker.
Yeah.
A grazer.
And sometimes it's just knowing what our body, the nutrients our body needs, right? Like protein is huge. We have to have protein. And if you don't have, and most people don't eat nearly as much protein as they should.
I feel like you do really well with protein.
Oh, yeah, I do.
I feel like I do protein
shakes at night. Yeah, and in fact, what you were saying about organic, me and him, had cut up a whole bunch of organic fruits and stuff like that, and put them in baggies, and we mix them with our protein.
Oh yeah.
And freeze the organic. So when you were talking about that, I was thinking well, you could always freeze it, if you're using it for smoothies or
absolutely.
I think prepping for
prep
is so important.
Yeah.
You are truly setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
Because if you're not prepping and you're not preparing good food in your house, or even having the good food in your house, right? And you just get quick things, or think like a meal bar or something.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that are not nourishing your body.
Yeah.
And so, if you have fruits and vegetables already cut up and prepared, I mean, that's even being busy is such a it's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So you have to take the time out to actually
do it. When I did the Daniel fast for 21 days, it was so much preparing and cutting, and I was so thankful for them riding knives my mama bought me or gave me for Christmas. They cut good. I was in there like a chef.
I know she was sending pictures. I was I thought you were on the Daniel fast. I was it looked good though.
Yeah, it makes me want to do it again.
Yeah, and when you're in, I remember talking to you about this, where when you're eating really good nutritious foods, right, where it's truly is nourishing your body,
right,
then it tastes better.
Yeah,
when you're once you've gotten rid of all the crap, you're no longer eat the sugar's gone, the processed foods are gone, and you're truly just giving your body what it needs. It tastes so much better.
Yeah, oatmeal was even good. I craved oatmeal.
Yeah.
I crave to food prep. I love it so much. Remember, I used to do it all the time. I'd be just eating like a loaf of Ezekiel bread and squeezing sweet potatoes out of a bag and eating chicken out of a bag that was cold, like
at the salon every day, and everybody was like, "What is this?"
Like 3 times a day eating the same thing.
I was like, "Jane."
I was just tearing it up.
I just got used to it.
Yeah, you did.
Doing it.
You're like, "Oh, don't you need your sweet potatoes in your bag? I'll go get them."
Where's your chicken?
Yeah. But yeah, I would bring like a big cooler and just like have it all in there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.